Hi, it's Dan from Sizzling Through the Season, and this is episode 2, New York Giants versus the Chicago Bears. Today we could have made Italian beef, Polish sausage, you name it, basically any type of sausage, but today a personal favorite of mine is pizza. People in Chicago do it a little differently than the people that we know accustomed to in New York, the Neapolitan style. Today we're going to make deep dish pizza. I know a lot of people joke that it's more of a casserole, lasagna type of style, but let's see what they have to offer compared to the Neapolitan style that we're all accustomed to. Normally, Giordano, we're basically going to copycat Giordano's pizza, and usually they do have meat in it, but today, since we're having steak pizzaiola for dinner tonight, we decided to make it vegetarian. So, first step you're going to do, as you can see, we already hooked it up. We already did the doughs and ready to go. So all I have to do is put the cheese on and the other part of the dough. So the first step, obviously you got the dough and you see it's overlapping, so we can pinch it together and take care of the second half of the bread, the dough I should say. Alright, so I'm going to take the mozzarella, sprinkle it around. Actually, I'm going to dump it first and then spread it around. Much easier to do. A little bit more. You can never cheat out on the cheese, obviously. Gotta space it out. Probably going to need a little bit more cheese. This is actually fun since pizza is one of my favorite meals. It's good to see on how other people make pizza, and I've always wanted to go to Chicago and try deep dish pizza and go to a Bears game or a Cubs game. So in a couple years, hopefully I get to take a trip out there. Okay, next part. This is going to be the fun, tricky part. Thank you. Fold this second part. The one thing my wife always said, don't be scared of messing up food. If it's delicious, it's good.
So just a side note, the top part has to get holes anyway, so don't worry if there's holes coming through. It needs to be pinched out.
Because if you do not make the holes, the pizza's going to explode, the cheese is going to explode, and you're going to have a mess on your hands. So, I know last week the Giants lost and they're 0-1, and the Bears won last week. So the Giants need to find a way to pull out a victory tomorrow at Soldier Field. What did you guys think about the Permanente sandwich that I did last week? What other things would you like me to try to cook and test things out? Blues Views 324, S&D Podcast, and SNDblog.com, where you can find all my other stuff that I've done. So now this is where I'm going to do the pinching. What?
You gotta cut the edges.
Oh, cut off the edges first. Good call, Nicole. What would I do with the others? Now obviously, there's a lot of dough to be wasted. So what we decided to do was to make garlic knots out of it. And all you had to do is put garlic, olive oil, and just let it cook. So as you can see, we're pinching, making it nice and as neat as possible. I know a lot of people are not going to be perfect on this. Neither am I, since I'm relatively new cooking. So the most important part is to pinch the first part of the dough with the cheese part, because like I mentioned before, the heat with the cheese is going to rise and it's going to explode, and you don't want to clean up in your stove. So I'm going to rip some parts here. There we go. Little air pockets. Like a pie. Basically what this is actually a real pie. It's not like our normal pizza that we're so used to. So about it. Then I'm going to put the sauce on. And then we're going to put it on 425 for 40 minutes. And we're going to see how it goes. So, we made our own sauce. We use Marzano, little garlic. Next week, the Giants play the San Francisco 49ers. So next 2 weeks, it's after this week, the next 2 weeks are California-based teams. They play the 49ers and the LA Rams. So next week, we're going to be making burritos, since burritos are a popular dish, especially in the West Coast, obviously around the world, because who doesn't like a nice burrito? And the following week, since I had it in LA, I'm going to make an In-N-Out burger, and then, of course, I'm going to try to make the animal sauce for everything else. Alright, I think that should be about it with the sauce. And then I'm going to put some grating cheese on it. So like I said, preheat your oven to 425 and wait 40 minutes and we'll see what happens. Okay, that's nicely done. Now we're going to do some grating cheese. I personally like grating cheese, so who doesn't? It's similar. It's not similar, but if I could say, it's kind of like a old school Sicilian pie. If you come to think about it, like if you go to L&B in Brooklyn and Ozone's Pizza in Queens, where we used to live in Ozone Park / Howard Beach, it's like an old school Sicilian where you would put the mozzarella on the square pie. And you put the sauce on top, and you put the cheeses on top, and you watch it grow for a little bit, like that. So, as you can see, 425, 40 minutes. And here we go. Alright. Since, obviously, it's a 5-minute show, we made a first pie ready to go, so we can cut it up and see what it actually looked like. As you see, that's the finishing product. We put more Parmesan cheese on top and looks all crispy and ready to go. Okay. Let's see, which way should I attack it? Yeah, Nicole's gonna take over because she has better slicing skills than I do, but I'm going to take my one bite, everybody knows the rules. As you can see, it looks well done, perfectly. We gotta get the spatula, and let's get to see the cheese pull.
Definitely like a pie crust.
Right. As you can see, still piping hot. Can't wait to try it. Still a little hot, but you know what? Pizza's supposed to be meant hot. So one bite, everybody knows the rules. Behan household. Chicago deep dish. Try one. Pretty good. Like I said, the San Marzano. How do you pronounce it? I'm sorry.
San Marzano.
San Marzano tomato sauce is so much nicer and sweeter, and it's not that heavy, thick tomato sauce. The cheese is nice and gooey. And see you next week. Once again, go Giants.